Okay guys, today I have a very, very important discussion to have with you. Now, if you are not a British citizen, or if you have been living under a rock for the last month, you may not know what I'm about to talk about. But I'm about to talk about something very important that has been in the news a lot over the last couple of weeks. And that thing is Love Island. Love Island is a TV show in Britain, and it's every day for 7 weeks it's on the telly, and it's basically a whole bunch of people get shoved in a villa in Majorca and they get told to couple up and make relationships, okay? And it's the most insane programme, but it is the best thing that has ever graced our television screens, hands down. And so I'm here today just to have a chat about all the things that are annoying me and concerning me and exciting me about Love Island. If you don't watch it, feel free to turn this off. I know it's not any of your interest, but if you do watch it, stay tuned, because I've got some interesting topics to talk about. Now, most of these things that I'm going to say are going to be questions that haven't been answered yet, and that I'd like to know the answers to, be it from a public poll, or for the show to answer, or for the contestants to answer. There's a lot of things that are going through my head. Now, my mum watches it with me, and some of you might go, "What? That's really weird." It's not though, she's the best. So we watch it together and we're gossiping about these people that we don't know, and it's our favourite thing to do. So for those of you that are saying, yeah, but there's like sexual stuff goes on, do you not feel weird watching it with your mum? No, she's a cool mum. So my mum has helped me make this list of questions because they're all things that she wants to know as well. So here we go. Now, my first question, the really, really big one. Jess and Mike, did they or didn't they? So for those of you that are not caught up on social media, when Jess and Mike left the villa at the same time, they were rumoured to have got together the night that they left the villa. Jess was coupled up with Dom in the villa, and Mike wasn't really coupled up with anybody, so there was a big controversy about Jess and Mike getting together after they left the villa. Now that Dom has left the villa, him and Jess seem to be getting on very well and starting their relationship in the outside world. It is still unclear as to whether Jess and Mike did anything the night they came out. There's rumours, but it's never been anything confirmed. Next question, are Amber and Olivia actually serious about their current relationships? So Amber is currently coupled up with Kem, and Olivia is coupled up with Chris. But there's a little bit of speculation that maybe they're not as into it as they might seem. People are saying that Amber's a game player, and when Olivia had her big issue when she was with Mike and then she was with Chris and all that sort of stuff, people were a little bit dubious that she was actually serious about any relationships at all. And those two are the girls that keep saying, he's 100% my type on paper. I don't get this paper thing, and neither does Mum. She's like, what is that? What does it mean? So yeah, I'm not convinced that they're really committed to their actual current couples. And if someone that was 100% their type on paper came in, they would be ditching them. And leading on from that, my next question is, can Olivia and Amber both be dumped from the island so that Chris and Kem can get together? Because let's all face it, they're our favourite couple. I know they're not a couple, but they're our favourite couple in the entire villa. Kem and Chris, they're so cute. I didn't like Chris when he first came in, and I liked Johnny when he first came in. I now don't like Johnny, and I really like Chris. So, you know, first opinions, they don't matter, do they? So yeah, I think Kem and Chris are my favourite couple in there. They're just the cutest, and they have discussions about hummus. Next question. Are we fed up with Camilla? I am. I mean, I thought she was cute, she was very adorable, she was so unlike any of the other girls in the villa. She was self-respecting, she was reserved, she was very coy and sweet and very polite, and she was just lovely, and she was very endearing for anybody that wanted to watch her. But now she is getting on my nerves, and it's because she got left by Johnny, and then she got into a relationship with Craig, But then she said to Craig 2 days later, nah, not really into you because I'm still upset about my last relationship. And it wasn't even a relationship. She was coupled up with Johnny for a while, but they hardly touched each other. They hardly went in the same room as each other. And I understand that she's a bit heartbroken about it. But what is the point in her being there if that's what she's going to do to every single guy? So I say, Camilla, you're a sweetheart, but sort yourself out. Otherwise, there's no point in you being there. So I have a couple of hopes for this new guy, Jamie, who seems to be kind of her type. Not on paper, though, because she doesn't say that. But I don't want her to couple up with Jamie if all she's going to do is ditch him and then he ends up being dumped again. Because he's a nice guy. So, yeah, I'm a little bit fed up with her. I think she needs to sort herself out. Why do the public get a vote if it doesn't count for anything? So we've been voting on the app a couple of times since it started. And all we've done is vote for our favourite couple or for our favourite single person or favourite boy, favourite girl. But we don't really get a say as to who gets dumped and who doesn't, because they then put the power up to the islanders. And then the islanders get to choose who leaves, and they're always going to choose the people who have come in last because they have less loyalties to them. And also, to make it a little bit more interesting, we kind of want to see some couples split up. I don't want to see Gabby and Marcel split up because they're quite cute. I don't want to see Alex and Montana split up because I love Montana. But I want to see some other people split up because I'm a bit bored. We want Johnny and Tyler to split up because, let's face it, no one likes them. And everything's a bit too nice and normal. So split some couples up, guys, because I'm bored. The big question, does Montana do anything but eat? She's so fantastic. She's sarcastic, she's straightforward, and she eats the entire day. And I love it. She's just my idol. She eats and she's sarcastic. What a sweetheart. Now, bit of a serious question here. What makes the programme so watchable? And I really don't know the answer to that. I don't know what makes it so watchable, but there's a part of me that thinks it's because everything needs to be taken with a bit of a pinch of salt. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's not a raunchy programme as most people would assume it is. It's, you know, actually there's this kind of not that much of naughtiness in it, but it's just good fun. You believe the people that are in there, you see them and you think, yeah, I mean, they're the sort of people that I know, or I went to uni with them, or, you know, they live down the street from me. They're people that you know, and it's really good fun to see people interacting when they forget there's a camera there, they forget that there's hidden cameras, and they're just being normal. It's so good to watch, and they do tasks and they build relationships with each other, and because it's so normal, no one in there is particularly crazy. And that's why I think it stands out from things like Big Brother, which I can't stand as a TV show. Because everyone in there seems to be in there to be wacky so that people notice them. Whereas with Love Island, everyone's just a bit crazy because they've been living in a house with strangers, in effect, for 7 weeks. But actually, I think it's just an endearing programme to watch people build relationships in their lives with strangers in front of a TV. Ultimately, we love watching people fall in love. And I think that's a big thing. It's what you like seeing in sitcoms, it's what you like seeing, you know, in the news. There's so much, you know, love in the world, and at the moment we're not experiencing that from various, you know, world issues that we've been having, that I'm not going to delve into now, but we're not seeing a lot of love at the moment, and ultimately people love seeing people in love, and I think that's one of the main reasons that we all adore this show. Now, who do we think the final two will be? Final two couples. At the moment, as long as things don't go amiss, I have my money on Montana and Alex and Gabby and Marcel, with Gabby and Marcel going on to win. The reason I say that is because I think Gabby and Marcel are quite strong as a couple. I know Gabby isn't quite as into it as Marcel is, but I think she'll be swayed. I think it just takes her a little bit more time, and as we saw in yesterday's Wednesday's episode. As we saw in Wednesday's episode, she has a little bit of self-confidence issues, but I think Marcel will be able to get her back on track. And Alex and Montana, I just think they're adorable, and I think it's time that Montana had the person that she kind of fell a little bit for in the villa, because she's had a bit of bad luck so far. And ultimately, there's a fly, okay. And ultimately, Marcel and Montana were our favourite boy and girl, and I voted for those two. So I feel like the public will back them all the way. Should there be a little bit more diversity in the show? And by diversity, I don't necessarily mean like racial diversity, because we've had lots of different races in this series 3. So, I mean, just the other day, Montana was saying that she's part Japanese, part South African, part South American, part Jamaican, or something like that. You know, we've got people of racial diversity, but I kind of mean personality diversity, and everyone seems to be the same sort of person, and it's the same, you know, oh, I've slept with 800 people, or oh yeah, I go out every single night and get absolutely hammered. It's all that sort of person. They're all the same. And if that's your life choice, go for it. I'm not going to judge. You do what you want. But I would like to see a little bit more diversity in the show. Now, Camilla was a good example of that. She was a good example of being a bit more reserved, a bit more unhappy to share her life experiences with the world. But on saying that, it hasn't really worked for Camilla, because she's not been quite as forward and willing as all of the other girls have. So maybe there isn't room for diversity in personality in the show. Why do they put the best clips on a Saturday evening? Now, I've been avoiding Saturday evenings because I always thought it was a roundup of the week, which I've already gone and watched anyway. So I've thought, oh, I don't need to watch Saturday evening, I'll put a film on or something. And it turns out that it's not a roundup of the week, it's highlights that basically we've missed. And we've all seen online the synchronised swimming video. It was fantastic. Some of the lads in the swimming pool doing a synchronised swimming routine. That was shown on Saturday evening, and I completely missed it because it was on the show that I thought wasn't relevant. And it's such a shame that we're not seeing that on the normal weekday shows, because I think some of us would vote very differently and would see a very different side, a fun side to some of the Islanders that we think are a little bit too serious. Are they going to ruin the show by bringing in really controversial people? Now, I hope not. The reason we all love it is because there's lots of fun and it's not overly mental, and people love it because it's simple, a simple concept. And if the producers start bringing in people to really stir things up, as in they're a little bit crazy or they're overly jealous or all of that, then it might end up becoming more of a Big Brother style that I mentioned earlier. And that's not what we want. We want it to be simple. We want it to be about people and their relationships. I think it will start to ruin it if there's too many big characters in the villa. You guys might have different opinions, but I feel like I love the simplicity of the show. I love it when they stir things up, but with tasks and with texts, not necessarily with people. I think there's a beauty about the people that you get to know in the villa, and there's a sadness when they leave. Now, my last question. Do we get a series 4? I haven't seen any confirmations of this yet, but I really, really, really hope we do, because it's always interesting to see how they're going to make the next series better than the last one. And to be honest, we all need our Love Island fix. If you haven't watched it and you've watched to the end of this video, you have to watch the next series. It's so good, it's so feel good, and it has the entire nation talking. Even if you don't think it's going to be your thing, I would say watch one episode. Watch one episode, then you can decide how you feel. It's so endearing, it's so uplifting, it's great to watch other people's lives and to be able to talk about it without feeling bad. So, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you guys have started to come up with your own questions about Love Island. If you have, please comment it down below, or tweet me, or send me a message on Instagram. I love hearing about your questions. and this is definitely a topic that needs to be talked about because it's huge. So I really hope you enjoyed this. Please like this and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss all my upcoming videos, and I will see you guys this time next week after one more week of Love Island. I will see you guys soon.